What's up? Got a Kubey. Yeah, it's in the fancy box, so I'm hopeful here. It's got a number on it. Let's check that out. It's going to tell us something. It's a KB243C. It's in 14C28N, titanium, and it's flamed. So, okay. I can tell you this, the box is super light. So I'm not expecting a big knife. But I can't think of a small Kubey. I don't know. Kind of confused at this point. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you are. And that's the truth. I have no idea what's in here. I just know it's small. Okay. It's small, but not small. Yeah, all right. So I was not going to get this, but a member of the channel, Victor, got one of these. What's up, brother? And said some good things about it. So I had to get it. Wow, look at this thing. What a pencil of a knife, man. Hey, let's get rid of all this. Standard stuff in the box, cleaning cloth, all that kind of cool stuff. Yep, it's a good one. All right. Well, of course, we got to get... I think it's a button lock. Look at that. Well, let's get that blade out. Okay. Wow. Wow, man. Look at this thing. Oh, my goodness. It's got a maker's mark. You can see the 14C there. And then the maker's mark, the designer looks like they've signed it right there. The fact that it is so slender, it's more narrow than my little finger. Is just, and the action on this thing, it's just impressive. It feels really solid. Look at that. The button has created a fairly substantial detent, and so it'll break and fly out. Look at that. It's got quite the little action on it. Wonderful little thumb platform. And it's got wonderful milling all along here. Very pronounced. Full four-finger grip that's locked in this little finger. It's where the flipper tab is located. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, come on. We got to take it apart. I mean, it's like a micro knife. What comes in a micro? Like, because you can get stuff and then there's the micro version. What am I thinking of? I can't think of it. What, like there's a standard version and then there's the micro version. This is definitely the micro version, and oh man, I wish I could think of what that is, but I'm at a loss. But it yeah, I had to get that pocket clip off. And it's all T8s. How about that? Yeah, all T8 hardware. Anodized. Look at even the bearings, the little washers, the bearings, everything is legit just on a micro level. Just very small. I can't think of what I'm trying to think of that, there's the normal version and then the micro version, and the micro version is built just as stout as the normal. But that's what this is. I mean, every piece of this is a solid, like legit real component, just small on a tiny scale. I mean, wow, look at this, man. That's pretty much it. These pins will come out of this, but we're just going to wipe it all down and then put it back together, lube it up proper. Let me look at this blade real quick. I mean, it's fairly thick blade stock. It's not thin. It'll be interesting to see how well they ground this edge. Very cool. Well, let's clean it up. We'll put it back together. I mean, yeah. I can't tell you how many times I saw this piece and was like, I don't know. It doesn't really look like it's for me. It looked like a novelty, and it was, it's not a cheap novelty. This is not a $25 knife. Yeah, it's not a super steel. Thank goodness that they didn't put like S35VN or something on it, and then the price tag go, elevate way over $100. Because I just don't think I would have pulled the trigger on something like this if that price tag would have continued to elevate. We'll get to the price and availability of it here at the end of the video. But, I mean, the price is substantial. They're not giving this one away. They're treating it like it's a legit piece. And I will say, so far, I'm kind of looking at it like that. It for the price point, I'm not disappointed at this point. I'm pleasantly surprised that, look how small this bearing is. I mean, we're talking itty bitty, man. Micro level stuff. Look at it. Yeah. It's tiny. It's itty bitty. Very cool. I mean, initial impression is positive. And it's because of the quality of the materials and the build. I mean, this thing's built well. It's not a toy. And it's most definitely not a novelty. This is like a legit little button lock shank. I mean, that's my impression of it, man. I want to try to transfer this to the other side so that I'm pressing everything down on this knife to get it back together. It's in there pretty good, though. I'm tempted to leave it. I think I'm gonna. I'll just come down with that. I mean, piece of lint. I don't want that in there. Yeah, golly, this thing. I better put a little bit of lube. How do you do like a micro drop? Probably definitely gonna over oil this thing. It's hard enough to, keep the oil down on a normal size piece, let alone this tiny little dude. All right. Hey, just so you know, y'all, it swings both ways. I mean, I'm just out here collecting knives. You know what I mean? I'm a goof. I don't keep as many of them as I used to. I will say, unfortunately, I keep way too many of them, like to my own detriment, man. You know, because I'm a hoarder and a lover and collector of knives. But um, I don't catch them all, and sometimes definitely I'll catch them. And when you do, you got to let me know. If you watch the comment sections, you see me say it all the time. People are like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this or that," and I'm like, "Man, let us know what you think." And really, what I'm saying is, let me know. I want to know. I'm curious. And this was a score. I'm pretty sure I told Victor, that I wasn't too sure about this piece. Jury was still out for me. Wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up or not. I think I'm way too tight on that pivot. And I think the comeback comment was that it was pretty cool. Enough so. I mean, I don't remember the exact words, but enough so that I was like, let me see. And clearly I pulled the trigger on it. Wow. I mean, yeah, this thing is. I wonder if I should put a little tension on that. I'm not gonna. It's a pretty lightweight knife. Let's roll with it. If I have to, I'll take it back off and be easy enough to put some tension on this. And I love Kubey's flame anno because they don't polish the surface first, and so it gives it. Let me close this blade before I do some damage here. So it's got a chalk-like texture. very grippy. Okay. Got a little bit of button stick going there. Oh, just sucks it in on that end. It just needs to break in. I don't mind a little bit of button stick on a button lock. I mean, if I'm using the button, it's perfectly fine. It's just when I whack it out there with my thumb, it creates a little bit of stick. What about a Spidey flick? Same. It's just coming out hard. Really locked up. Wonderful action on this. Wonder if I'm too tight. I mean, it definitely could have been. Yeah, it's freer now. Let's see if there's play. Yeah, there's a tiny little bit of play in there now, so I'd rather get the play out. And of course, I'll mess with this, and if that button stick persists, I'll polish that button a little bit. I mean, so let's talk about the action on this. Got this thumb flick, little button stick. It's got a Spidey flick that the finger just gets in this back spot and, yeah, slings it out there pretty good. Got a fair amount of oil coming off those bearings. So small. I mean, just a drop is too much, I'm guessing. Which means, honestly, there could be oil in this action, which is why it's sticking. Depressing the button, it's wonderful. Great detent. I mean, for what it is on here, I'm going to say that it's, it's like a B plus, A minus. It'd be easy to say, well, because it's tiny and all this stuff and give it some credit. But I mean, just overall the action on it, I mean, it's good. It's better than average. The button stick probably has me down at a B. If I could get the button stick out of it, I'd probably knock it up to like an A minus. Pretty solid, man. Flicks out really nice. Got great detent with that button. I mean, it's wonderful. I'm gonna work on that stick real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so I disassembled. I took this button out and I polished on my belt sander with a very fine grit belt the surface of that button. And so it's got the tiniest little bit of stick now, which is totally acceptable. And in my opinion, 100% will break in with use. But the stick that was there, so I'm gonna call the action an A minus. It's wonderful now, and yeah, the button is solid. That action is stuck. There's no concerns there whatsoever. And so, excellent thumb flick, Spidey flick, And then just the button deployment as well. You know, take it out of pocket and boom, there it is. Let's talk about ergonomics real quick. So surprisingly, this little pencil of a knife is stunning in how locked in it feels. Now my finger's a mess here. I've got this busted up bone or snapped tendon or something right here in my finger. So it's not a cut. Everybody thinks it's a cut, but it's to keep this joint kind of straight right here and hopes that it's healing. So I can't completely like see these fingers are gripped around. Like this finger's kind of, that's about as good as I can go. But I am supremely locked in here. Wonderful platform for the thumb. These fingers come around, and the pocket clip is such that it aids in the locked in feel of this knife. And so not so confident, confident, and very confident. This is a confident grip. I mean, this thing is surprisingly solid. I'm stunned, honestly. For the small kind of, I don't know, novelty nature of this, it's not that at all. This is a legit little I mean, I know, man, I'm probably gonna catch it here, but this is a legit little self-defense, backup self-defense piece. I I would absolutely throw this in my pocket with the concept that if I needed a backup self-defense knife, that this could function in that capacity. I feel like I could go forward here confidently without losing my grip and coming up and over the blade. Definitely could cap this off. I feel like this knife is strong enough that I could penetrate like this for sure. And then definitely in a Pakal grip. Maybe some slicing, but definitely the stab down motion, you know, like so. This could be a piercer. And definitely with that tanto blade, this, I mean, I'm stunned with it. I really am. Great ergonomics. Let's check the pocket clip. I mean, yeah, I am pleasantly surprised, and I think I'm going to be even more so with it in pocket. Yeah, look at it. I mean, just all the way, wonderful deep carry clip, and with the weight of the knife and the tension of that clip, it's a dryer clip. You know, wherever I put this, when I go looking for it, that's where it's going to be. Just a little obscure little pocket clip could almost, I don't know if it's too long, but probably could put that in a shirt pocket. You know what I mean? I think so, man. I mean, wow. Yeah, so the clip is awesome. Let's check the safety on this knife. Make sure we can't make any blade contact. Yeah, so the tip's good, the clip is good, and I'm confident that I can handle this knife in any manner when it's closed and not make incidental blade contact. So here's a moment. Were they able to get that sharp? Yeah. What about that? What about the tanto tip? Yeah, come on. I mean, that was the weight of the blade. What about the other tip? I already know. The weight of the blade. Yep. Look at it. It's wonderful. Yeah, this thing's legit and it's sharp. Yeah, very cool. Price and availability. Here's the moment right here because it is not a cheap knife. Okay, so here's the skinny on this. I'm not even going to talk about any other retailers because the place to go for this is White Mountain Knives. To be honest, almost every Kubey, man, that's the place to go because they're running a special. If you put it in the cart and then put Kubey in the coupon section in your cart, there's about a 32% discount on most Kubeys. One of the reasons that I didn't pick one of these up, because when they first dropped, they would not take the discount code. Well, they do take the discount code now. So this is $100 knife. 14C titanium, flame anode, or plain titanium, $100 knife. With the discount code, you can pick one of these up right now. No tax, free shipping for around $67.50. Yep. $100, but with the Kubey discount, $67.50. And any place else you go to find this knife, it's going to be $100. Yeah, White Mountain Knives, man. They have cornered the Kubey market. I'm just telling you. And so the question, I'll wrap up with this. Is this knife, I'm not going to say $100 because I don't have to pay $100 and I didn't. Is this knife worth $70? I mean, you got to factor in a couple of things for me, and one of them is I am a huge Kubey fan, and I am a huge Kubey knife collector. And it's because of the White Mountain Knife sales, man. I mean, I'm looking at so many of these Kubeys because they're so deeply discounted. If you find them anyplace else, they're 30% more. And for a while, they're almost 40% more, like 35% more. Any place else you went for them. But is this worth $70 to me? And I'll be honest, I think it is. I think it is worth that. Now, visually, I wouldn't have thought so, and that's why I think I passed on it. Definitely at $100, I was kind of passing on it. I'm like, I don't know, man. It looks like a novelty. It is not a novelty, and at $100, now that it's in my hand, I'd consider it. But definitely at under $70, yeah, is it worth that? In my opinion, it is. It's a great pencil. It's a legit pencil knife. Yeah, I like it, man. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all watching.